She laughed at his dirty clothes. But then the town remembered the truth. The morning had just begun, when the quiet town of Milford was shaken by a moment that no one expected to go viral. A man dressed in worn-out boots, faded jeans, and a jacket that looked older than the store itself, slowly stepped into the luxury shopping center. His hair was messy, his hands rough, and his eyes tired, like someone carrying years of weight alone. Most people didn't even notice him, but she did. Rebecca Morgan, the woman known for her perfect outfits, expensive jewelry, and a reputation for judging everyone who wasn't from her world. The moment she saw the man, she stopped walking, wrinkled her nose, and whispered loudly enough for 3 stores to hear. "Is he lost? Or did someone forget to throw the trash out?" The shoppers around her chuckled. A few pulled out their phones, already sensing drama. The man didn't react. He simply walked slowly toward the bakery counter, as if he had been saving up a long time just for a warm meal. But Rebecca wasn't finished. She laughed again, louder this time. "Sir, this is a luxury mall. People like us shop here, not whatever you are." Phones began recording. Someone said, "This is gonna blow up online." Another whispered, "Why doesn't he just leave? He's embarrassing himself." The man kept his eyes down. Everyone saw his clothes, no one saw his scars. Rebecca stepped in front of him, blocking his path. "Do you even have money to buy anything here?" she asked, waving her designer purse. "Or are you just here to beg?" The whole entrance area froze. A child tugged on his mother's sleeve and whispered, "Why's everyone being mean to him?" But even the mother looked away, unsure if she should intervene. The man finally said something, his voice calm, deep, steady. "I just want something warm to eat." "That's all." Rebecca laughed again. "Oh, he talks. How cute." Someone yelled from the back, "Man, this is sad. He should be thrown out." Another added, "Yeah, call security." Rebecca smirked. "Don't worry, I already did." The man sighed, quietly rubbing a faded patch on his jacket. A patch almost no one noticed. A small symbol. A small memory of something much bigger than his appearance. But before anyone could look closely, 2 security guards arrived. "Sir, you're disturbing our customers," one of them said. "You need to leave," the other added. The shoppers nodded in approval. Rebecca folded her arms proudly. "See? Finally someone doing their job." The man didn't argue. He simply stepped back, his eyes soft, almost sad. But as he was turning around to leave, an old man sitting near the fountain stood up, trembling slightly. He stared at the poor-looking stranger with wide eyes, shocked, unsure if he was seeing a ghost from the past. Whispering in disbelief, the old man said, "Wait, is that? No, it can't be. Not him." Suddenly the mood shifted. Curiosity spread like wildfire. People put their phones down. Rebecca's smile faded. Because the old man wasn't just anyone. He was Milford's oldest resident, and the keeper of the town's deepest memories. He stepped closer, voice shaking. "Everyone, stop! Do you even know who you're talking to?" The crowd looked confused. Rebecca rolled her eyes. "And who exactly is he supposed to be?" The old man's answer froze the entire mall. "The man you're humiliating is the one who saved this town." The entire mall went silent. Even the humming music from the speakers felt like it stopped. The old man's voice echoed through the wide glass hall. "You don't recognize him because time changed his clothes. But it didn't change what he did for us." Rebecca scoffed. "Saved the town? Him, please. He can barely save himself." But the old man continued walking closer, his eyes misting as he looked at the poor-looking stranger. "His name is Samuel Brooks, former staff sergeant. He was the man who ran into the burning Ridgeway factory 12 years ago when it exploded. He pulled out 30 people. 30 families got their loved ones back because of him." A gasp rippled across the crowd. Some shoppers lowered their phones. Security guards exchanged stunned glances. Samuel kept his eyes low, almost embarrassed by the attention. I didn't save everyone, he whispered. I tried, but I lost some. The old man shook his head gently. You saved me. You saved my son. You saved half this town. We wouldn't be standing here if it weren't for you. Rebecca's face turned pale, but pride kept her from backing down. That doesn't explain why he looks like a hero who sacrificed everything. The old man cut her off sharply. He got injured in that explosion. Couldn't work again. Lost his home. Lost his family. But he never complained. He just disappeared so no one would pity him. The weight of those words hit the crowd harder than any insult ever could. A woman near the bakery raised her hand over her mouth and whispered, My father was in that factory. He never told me who saved him. A teenager said quietly, We made fun of a hero. Security softened their posture, suddenly unsure of what to do. Rebecca swallowed hard. This can't be true. He walked in here like a beggar. The old man turned to her, his voice deep with disappointment. You saw dirt on his clothes. I saw the medals behind his scars. You judged him for how he looked. I remember him for how he fought. The silence was deafening. Then something unexpected happened. The bakery cashier stepped out from behind the counter holding a warm meal. She walked straight to Samuel and placed the food gently in his hands. This one's free, she said softly. Thank you for everything you've done. Another man approached, offering his jacket. A mother guided her child over to Samuel. The little girl looked up at him and said, My mom said heroes don't always wear capes. I think she meant people like you. Tears filled Samuel's eyes, something he hadn't allowed himself to feel in years. But the moment everyone would remember came seconds later. Rebecca, the woman who had humiliated him publicly, finally broke. Her voice cracked as she said, I didn't know. I shouldn't have. I'm sorry. Samuel didn't shout. He didn't accuse. He simply looked at her and said, Being kind doesn't cost anything. Not even to strangers. The old man nodded. Let's give him what he gave us, a chance at a better life. And right there, in the center of the mall where he had been mocked just minutes earlier, the crowd formed a circle around Samuel, not to shame him, but to protect him. The same people who laughed at him now stood in silence, guilt heavy in their hearts. The same shoppers who pulled out phones earlier now lowered their heads in respect. Samuel looked around at the faces suddenly filled with compassion. He didn't see wealth or status or color. He just saw humans, capable of cruelty, yes, but also capable of change. He whispered, I never wanted recognition. I only wanted peace. The old man placed a hand on his shoulder. And today you'll get it. Rebecca took a shaky step back, unable to handle the weight of her own cruelty. The cameras that once recorded humiliation now captured redemption. And the video that eventually spread around the town wasn't of a poor black man being mocked. It was of a community finally realizing the value of a man they had forgotten. A man whose heroism didn't fade with time. A man who reminded them that kindness is the real luxury. And from that day on, Milford never judged a person by their clothes again, but by the courage in their heart.